John Osborne here. Welcome to the FX Educational Outlook for the first day of June 2017. I want to point out that we're on the eve of the non-farm payroll report due out at 8:30 tomorrow morning, which is Friday morning. So everything should be looking for a little bit of consolidation between now and then we don't know which way it's going to break one way or the other. It'll be based on the pending news. We can look at the ADP payrolls and see if that gives us some insight, but there's a lot of times not correlation between what they see and what the actual government reports are. So let's start out by looking at the pound dollar. You can see we're making this little move downward here. We're bullish, moving up after breaking through the 1.27356 many weeks ago, and we broke out of this pennant pattern that we had here a couple of months ago, and so we've made this nice run up, but now we're having a little bit of a run down. So I would like to see us break above this 1.29574. That would be right about here. Now every day that'll move down a little bit further, but if we can break above that, we'll probably make a run for this previous swing high here. So we're going to keep that in our pending bullish category. In our bullish category here, we've been kind of waiting for it to get out of this little bit of a break here. So 0.87500, we're staying above this daily trend line across the tops here, and you can see yesterday, or during the day on Thursday, it went up and touched this but reversed back down again. So these long wicks indicate that it's not getting a lot of traction to move higher, and we're also seeing potentially a little bit of a divergence here, at least in the histogram part of the MACD. So we might see this one run lower. It may not be so bullish on this one anymore. Same thing with the euro US dollar. It's gone back up and put in possibly a new pivot here. We have to wait for this to continue lower and to give us this pivot. So I put a question mark here on the divergence, and we are moving lower here on the daily, but the histogram and the signal line look really strong as we move up towards that 1.12989 on the weekly. So let's see what happens here. If the divergence plays out, we might make a run back down towards the previous pivot low at 1.11088, and a lot could happen on that news from non-farm payrolls. We've also made a run back down again towards this trend line here on the weekly. We're bouncing off of that from last week. We're making a run up to this previous pivot here from the last side of a little pivot here at 1.35339. So let's see what happens here if we get a bounce off of that and back down again. One of the strongest ones we have here is the Aussie Swissy, which has broken down through support. We were watching for that break. We finally got it, and now we are moving almost in a free fall down towards the next target on the weekly. So we can keep an eye out for that 0.70312 and potentially look for another support at about 0.70960 on the daily before then. For the pound yen, we went back up and retouched this downward trend line that was on the daily. So we're going to see if we're going to bounce lower off of that, and we are expecting that we will, as we are pretty bearish and on the signal line, and histogram's weakening a little bit, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, we're still going to stay bearish. And for the pound loonie, you can see we're trying to make a move back up again after failing to break through the 200 bar weekly moving average. So we'll watch to see if we are going to kind of plateau out here and move back down again. And we've got the dollar Swissy that is still heading lower, but we're limited by the lower bound of this pennant on the weekly. A couple other things to look at that are in consolidation. We've got the US dollar yen in consolidation, and we also have the Aussie US dollar, which came down and is sitting right on this trend line that it broke above. So again, this one's in a weekly pennant pattern. That'll do it for today. You can follow me and subscribe. You can follow me on StockTwits and Twitter under the name TraderJohnO. You can subscribe clicking on my picture that's showing here up on the right, and you can see previous downloads at the link that's appearing with the small video window that's there. Until next time, and before non-farm payroll, have a great day.